welcome to See the Stories, the signature segment of the 3-hour news show. Now, the ASEAN Summit was successfully held in Labuan Bajo, where ASEAN country leaders conveyed statements to further develop the bloc.
That's right, Yani. There were also young people involved in the summit to give some recommendations.
Raihan Zahirah Mauludi, Ridwan and Zafran Ahmad Dairi Arif became Indonesian youth delegates who gave recommendations to the ASEAN leaders at the summit.
They presented policy recommendations related to digital development for sustainable development goals for 10 minutes.
Invited Raihan Zahirah to our studio to explain more. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Raihan.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Yes, welcome to our studio.
All right, so this is very exciting. Can you tell us the process of how you were chosen as Indonesian Youth Representative at the ASEAN Summit 2023?
Okay, thank you so much. So back to the February, at that time the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Indonesia, as well as the Ministry of Youth and Sport, they asked some of the youth organization to nominate some of the youth that can represent the organization. And after that, at the time I should submit some of videos, essay, and so many substantive things to be assessed by both ministries. And after that, I was accepted into ASEAN Youth Dialogue. And during the ASEAN Youth Dialogue, there were 10 Indonesian delegates at that time, not 2, so it was 10. And then afterwards, throughout the ASEAN Youth Dialogue, 2 of the ministries, especially the staffs, assess the performance of all delegates, and afterwards they selected to the best performer.
I see. So you're one of the 2 best.
Yes.
I see. Wow.
How did you feel?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Of course, once a lifetime experience, right?
Yeah, I see. And before ASEAN Summit, what were your duties?
Sorry?
Before joining the ASEAN Summit, what were your duties after being chosen as one of the 2 best?
Okay, so before the ASEAN Summit, at that time I was the one who is in charge to create all of the summary to be delivered to the President Joko Widodo and all of the ASEAN state leader. So it was only me to create the script and stuff.
And what were the recommendations for the ASEAN leaders at the summit? So you joined the summit and have heard that directly, right?
Okay. So at the time we were proposing for policy recommendation. The first one will be related to ASEAN digital literacy, what you can do. So we do believe that digital economy and also digital transformation start to become a boomerang for youth if they're not equipped with adequate skill and literacy to cope with the tools. And we also do believe that later on, building digital literacy among the ASEAN population can help to ensure that youth in ASEAN can cope with digital economy and also digital transformation. Next topic will be strengthening the region's ecosystem for youth entrepreneurship. We believe that ASEAN digital economy gross merchandise value is set to surpass 200 billion by 2025 with a compound annual growth rate of 17%. So we also emphasize to all of the ASEAN leaders that do not focus only on the startups, but also focus on micro, small, medium businesses which are owned by youth right now. And the third topic is about green economy, how we can utilize digital platform to embrace opportunities and anticipating challenges for green economy, because we believe that since 2020, the cumulative investment value of green economy reaching 15 billion. Meanwhile, in terms of the investment value, it's reaching 3 times to the sustainability focused startups. Last topic will be related to inclusive digital transformation. We believe that digital transformation can provide 2 sides of coin. So it can also provide negative impact towards the youth, such as widening inequality and then digital divide and then unequal basic digital access, as well as disruptive job market.
All right, so these are all the recommendations for the leaders, right? So, but now can you tell us what are the steps to achieve those recommendations?
Of course, the most important part will be the embodiment of the policy itself. Because I do feel as well, we the youth feel that we already given so much platform. You can name it Model United Nations, competition and stuff. But the part of the embodiment is still lacking right now. So we do believe that by implementing those policy recommendation and then implementing it or executing it both in the micro, meso and macro level, it is also important for us to actualizing those policy recommendations.
I see. And how did you come up with those recommendations? Especially after we heard it,
Yeah.
it sounded so complete and well-rounded recommendation. Did you hold a meeting with other Indonesian youth, or you guys did some research?
Yeah, so we, the youth, we were holding a meeting during the ASEAN Youth Dialogue. And then at that time, we have like two parts of the meeting, like online meeting and the off-site meeting. During the online meeting, we were discussing regarding the discovery part, for example, like what are the facts and then the problem and then the thing that we should solve. And then we are structuring our recommendation. And then when we were like gathering at Jakarta at that time in Hotel Borobudur, at that time we were finalizing all of the recommendation, and actually like I was the one who in charge to coordinate
like
all of the efforts,
organize.
plus all of the delegates.
Wow.
You know, even for us, like hearing you giving us all about this recommendation, we're like in awe, right?
Yeah,
So we
and
want,
she's so young.
I
right?
know. So we want to know, how did President Joko Widodo react when he heard all these recommendations?
So the President Joko Widodo response was pretty positive. It's really, really positive so far compared with other like ASEAN leaders. He stated that youth is energetic,
Yeah.
innovative, creative, and positive. He also stated that digital transformation can accelerate economic growth further, because he also realized that during the post-pandemic recovery, digital transformation can help us to achieve sustainable development goals, right?
Yeah.
And then he also put some emphasis regarding youth also hold a power in three main agenda. The first thing will be like accelerating digital infrastructure. The second thing will be advancing digital economy. And the third thing will be reinforcing social solidarity. And he also, in the end of the speech, stated that youth should have a high sense of spirit and responsibility
Yeah.
to achieve the sustainable development goals point, which is leaving no one behind.
See,
I see. I like it. Yeah.
can you repeat that again?
Leaving no one behind.
Yeah, so President Joko Widodo said the youth of Indonesia should be energetic.
Yes. High in spirit.
High in spirit, sense of responsibility.
Wow, 3 notes. Yeah. We've taken the notes as well. And so we knew that aside of ASEAN Summit, you've also attended international conferences. So what are the differences between ASEAN Summit and other conferences that you've attended so far?
So far, I have attended like Y20 last year. The differences will be like within the ASEAN 42nd Summit, it was like pretty intense in terms of like the substance, and then the way like the protocols or the procedure went on. And then in terms of like the substance itself, we must really like be careful regarding how to deliver something in front of like the leaders, and then choosing the right words, and then choosing how to like present the policy in a most interesting way, because we do believe as well like ASEAN leaders, they only want to know like what's the problem, what's the concrete action, and then what's the next step. So we must be like concise in terms of like delivering the policy proposals.
Right. So you were excited in the beginning, right?
Yes.
But now when you were delivering the recommendation, how did you feel?
It
Nervous?
was
Nerve-wracking?
awesome,
Exciting?
elated,
Wow.
nervous, because the President Joko Widodo mentioned my name, my full name.
Wow,
It was like,
that must be something.
No. Okay, so besides giving the recommendations at the ASEAN Summit 2023, ASEAN youth leaders had also gathered together in Labuan Bajo. What did you guys discuss? Can you tell us a little bit?
sure, of course. So besides Bapak Presiden Joko Widodo, the other ASEAN leaders is discussing about like the ASEAN post 2025 community, the vision, like how you should be actively engaged in realizing that ASEAN 2025 community. And I think will be in terms of, for example, like Brunei, Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. Those like prime ministers from that countries also emphasizing regarding how like each country in ASEAN is competing to be at the front line of youth development.
Of course,
That's
Like-
the great part.
Like a great competition.
Yes.
Like, you know, like competing each other to be better in promoting ASEAN.
Yes.
Right. And this is just out of curiosity. Did you guys talk about other topics rather than serious topics during ASEAN Summit?
Of course, we talk about like whether our president will reaching us or not, because like we're flying from each our country, right? So we're also expecting to meet all of like ASEAN leaders, and apparently like the President Jokowi went to me instead of me went to him.
Wow.
It was also, like,
That's special.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
we would like
we've never had that opportunity. Maybe one day, Yani. Aim into that.
All right, so Raihan, we still have a lot of questions for you. We'll continue after this segment. And for those of you at home and anywhere you are, see the stories will continue after the break with Raihan Zahirah. So don't go anywhere.